Today we're going to go through creating a new transaction on the Truzo platform on the desktop version. In order to do that, navigate to truzo.com website. Once you're there, you would click on login, register. For the people that have not registered on our platform, you would go into the register, provide name, surname, email address, mobile number. If it is a corporate account, you would select corporate account and provide the company name. I'm already registered on the platform, so I will simply sign in. Once logged in onto the platform will notify you that you have successfully signed in, and it will go straight to the activity screen if there are any specific activities that require your immediate attention. For today, we will just create a transaction, so I'll show you how to do it. On the home page, there is an area right at the top that allows you to create a transaction. You simply construct a sentence: I am buying goods, or I am selling a vehicle. We will go through buying a couple of stationery items, and I'll show you how to do this. If you are on a different screen, you can go onto the menu and you can go on new transaction, and it will pop over whatever page you are on our website. It will pop the exactly same window. So going into the creating a new transaction, I need to specify at least one item that I am buying. I will go with pens, and I need 100 for the office, and the price is R12.95. Specify other items. There is no limit on how many items you would like to purchase or add to the transaction, so I'm going to get another 100 and I'll pay R8.95 for that. Once we specify the items, we will see the grand total. We would go on to the next screen. On the next screen, we need to specify who's the seller, and we can add an agent to the transaction if there is an agent. It's very simple. For the demo today, we will not have an agent, so we'll specify a cell phone number of the person that is selling the items for us. So we will go and specify the details: stationery at stationery.co.za is the email address. We would go click next. And here we are presented with a screen that allows us to specify who will be paying for the Truzo fees and in which proportion. The fees are dependent on the payment method that is selected. I can pay by a credit or a debit card. I can use my Truzo wallet. I can do a manual EFT into one of our bank accounts, or we can use an instant EFT powered by Ozo. For the demonstration, I will select manual EFT. So I will EFT the money into one of Truzo bank accounts to fund this particular transaction, and I will pay 75% of the fees, and the seller will pay 25% of the fees. The system shows immediately as I set the slider what is the proportion of the fees. Once we click next, we will get to the complete screen that provides the summary of the transaction with the fees that are payable by yourself or by me and the total amount that I need to pay. The next section specifies the number of days that are allocated for me to inspect the received goods or a service. The default is 2 days. We can set it to 0 days, which will make the payment go off immediately once the goods or service is delivered, and we can go to a maximum of 30 days. So we'll specify 1 day, accept the T's and C's, agree with all the particulars of the transaction, and then I will click on create. Now the system has created the transaction. The reference number is E000860. We can see the transaction that is created. Again, we have the summary of this particular transaction. We have the timeline of when it was created, when the transaction was approved, funded, delivered, and then ultimately the money has been released. Here we have a couple of actions that are available. Request the cancellation of a transaction if something was captured incorrectly or the transaction is not going through. We can fund the transaction since we are a buyer. We can query something on the transaction with one of the Truzo agents, or we can dispute this transaction if the particulars are incorrectly captured or the goods or service that I have requested were delivered incorrectly or the wrong item was received. The next tab shows us the particulars of the parties to the transaction, who's the buyer and who's the seller. The next section provides the merchandise description, so that's the pens and the pencils that we ordered. And finally, we can see the financials. What is the buyer, myself, is paying? What is the seller receiving? And the Truzo.com fees that are allocated to this particular transaction. So if we go back to the summary screen, there is a fund option which is available, which is my next activity to be done on this particular transaction. So if I click on it, it will provide me with an option again of which payment method I wish to choose to fund this particular transaction. We would go with a manual EFT, which we selected originally. Clicking on next will take us to the fund transaction screen where we will see the payment details, the transaction reference number, the totals, the fee breakdown, and the total that I need to pay. If we go on to the next screen, we can choose a particular bank account that I wish to transfer the money to. The options are F&B, ABSA, and Standard Bank. Here we can see the details that need to be specified when I do the EFT. Since I am with the F&B, I can choose F&B, record the details, copy and paste them, or open internet banking and literally copy and paste from one screen to another screen. Once I hit complete, this transaction would be deemed funded, and Truzo agents will, once they verify the payment from myself to Truzo.com bank account, the funds will be allocated to this transaction, and we will notify the seller that the money are in trust and he can proceed with the delivery of services of goods.
Truzo by Envision It, creating trust between strangers.